Start by taking a look at this t-shirt. Toggle it says. And that's actually just one of the many good things that can come out of writing online. I got it as a gift years ago, plus some ball pens and other stuff, because I had written a blog post about this company called Toggle. I used Toggle to time myself when I was working on blog post, or even if I helped somebody else do something, then I would use this to track my time. Also because I used to procrastinate quite a bit, so it was good to keep myself accounted for when I had to click start and stop every time I started and stopped something. So that would tell me how much time I wasted during the day, and it would help me get back on track. So I wrote a blog post about it because it was new back then, and then I told the company about it just because I thought it might interest them. And I got a reply through email, and they were very happy for my blog post, and they would show me how much they appreciated it by sending me a few things. I said okay, so I gave them my address, and they sent this t-shirt and a ball pen, and I don't even remember what else, but there was several small things, and I really appreciate it, and actually it's still one of my favorite t-shirts. I like it. So, but what else can you get? If you write online, you can grow an audience. You can get thousands and even hundreds of thousands of people to join your email list, and that can make you a lot of money, because on your email list you can contact them, and then you can sell them courses that will help them transform into what they want to be. But if you are a writer, either of non-fiction or fiction, you can also get published if that's what you want to be, or you can get more readers for your books if you post about them or post about related things on your blog. For example, every morning I draw a tarot card and I ask what I need to know that day. And then I write down a description of the card in my journal. But very often they wear clothes that I don't know how to describe, because it's medieval styled cards. It's a Rider-Waite, if you are familiar with tarot cards. And I don't know how to say it, so I used to write things like, he was wearing a white shirt with a small thing over him without sleeves, but that's not really so that professional to write things like that. And even if it's just for myself, I'd like to have it more precise. So I did a search for medieval clothing and found a site that had, 20 plus different kinds of medieval clothing and the names of them. And for example, the thing I'd called a turban because it was winded around the head, it had a name, and I was also in doubt about what they called those tight leggings that the men wore back then that looked like socks, just very long. I had the idea they were called Hosen or something like that, but I knew that was a German word. But I looked it up on that page, and it was actually hose and Hosen in plural that they called it. Then I also got a pop-up on that site that said that if I signed up, I would get a free novel that took place in the medieval area. And it turned out that the person who made that blog is actually a fiction writer. And I found that a very great way, because I was attracted to the page because of the medieval clothing. And now I don't have time to read a novel, but lots of people will have time to read a novel from the medieval age or era, and they will sign up, get her free version, and then hopefully buy her books from Amazon later. And that's all thanks to content put out there, because content will attract people. We have lots of it online, I know. And now with AI, we have even more. But most of what AI writes is not worth reading because it's boring, it's without personality, and yeah, you cannot even trust it because AI will often make up things if they don't know the answer. It's very human there because it won't admit it doesn't know the answer. It will just tell you something. And then if you do a little bit of research and find out that's not true, and you tell it that's not true, then say, oh, I'm so sorry, I should have said that it is, and then something else. Maybe it's true, maybe it isn't. When AI first came out, I tried it to make a short text because everybody was praising how fantastic AI was. So I asked it to write a small text of 300 words, and that was ChatGPT, and it wrote a small text, and it said, here you are, here's the text. And I looked at it, I could tell just by looking at it that there wasn't 300 words in there. So it said, how many words are there? 300, like you asked me for. Okay, please count again. Okay, maybe there are only 250 words. I'll try to rewrite it. Okay, thank you. And ChatGPT rewrote it, and there was still no 300 words. I don't know why, but AI cannot count. It cannot read either. Even Claude, which I'm very much a fan of, I gave it something I had written the other day and asked some follow-up questions, and it asked me back a question which I'd already written in that text. So very human again. It skims text, it seems, and forgets just like us. But all that to say, there are plenty of content online, but there is not as much content that is worth reading. So there's always a spot free for somebody else to write and to share and to be helpful to others, and that in turn will give lots of good results back. So I hope this will inspire you. Go write some text, not tests. Tell whoever you wrote about that you wrote this text. For example, like I told Toggle when they sent me this, don't expect anything back, by the way. If you give, then give. Don't give to get back. Well, that's another story for another video, maybe.